We are live, it says. Can everybody hear me okay? How's the audio?
I'm getting an ad.
Adam is getting an ad. I'm gonna sneeze. Audio sounds good. Yay! Ah, Hedgehog is here. The nice thing about not being in the cast is staying on board. Oh, yeah. Now you can watch me draw frogs and listen to me draw frogs. Also listen to that. This is the Froggy stream. Because I drew a sketch of a Froggy, and then after that I was like, I want to draw more Froggy. Excuse to draw Froggy. And also maybe other things if I get bored of Froggy. I have to draw 10 postcards today, so I might get bored of Froggy. That's a very real possibility. We're definitely gonna have some anthropomorphic frogs. I'm gonna have to draw one of those little frogs that is just like an orb frog. Froggy eating a burb, says Adam. I don't know why, but he does.
When I was young and going to a public school and we had to dissect froggos, one of my classmates dissected a froggo and found a burb in its stomach.
All right. Oh, we already have a suggestion for a Froggy with a top hat and a monocle, which does seem like something a Froggy would have.
That is classic Froggy.
All right. I have frog references all over here. So if I'm looking sort of vaguely off to the side, it's because I'm looking at frog references. Because I don't actually draw that many frogs, to be honest with you. So I gotta check.
Michigan J Frog.
Michigan what?
I might be mispronouncing it. It might be misspelled.
By the way, I am looking at my frog references now, Adam, so you will have to keep an eye on the chat. Everyone say hi, because Adam is here. Froggies. All of the... I wonder if I should draw Kermit the Frog.
KJ was both traumatizing and like cool and intriguing at the same time. And it was a little bit more traumatizing because it was also a baby burb that the froggo had eaten and swallowed. So
any OG Muppet fans in my chat for Kermit the Frog?
I'm Mr. Julian.
Mr. Julian? That's great. Almost as funny as the time that they thought you were like my publicist or something.
So there's definitely people who wanted to dissect the burb as well, but that was a little bit beyond the skills of our little private grade school that was doing the dissecting.
People wanted to dissect a bird too? What is wrong with you people? Not only are you like, yes, on board for dissecting frogs, but also this bird that we found inside of the frog.
I mean, it's all science.
Yeah, but...
You got a whole mural in your other room dedicated to science.
You know, I was homeschooled, so we didn't have to dissect a frog. We dissected mushrooms and drew pictures of the inside of what the mushrooms looked like.
It's pretty cool, too. I'm a fan of mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps if you get sick of frogs, you will draw a mushroom.
Or I can do some sort of combination, froggy
Indeed.
Mushroom situation.
KJ got to dissect fetal pigs, and they remember that pretty vividly. They found it a very fascinating experience.
My sister is a vet tech, so like that sort of thing just completely all had to her. And I don't mind like looking at images of stuff like that, but I would not do it myself. I am not the animal dissectee sort of person. Even if it is interesting and fascinating, not for me.
Hedgehog got to dissect cow eyes as well, and an owl. The thing an owl parts up with the bones. We reassembled a rat. So they dissected the
Owl pellets.
owl's pellet, and reassembled a rat.
We had lots of, like, we lived out in the country, so we had access to owl pellets aplenty, and we certainly did the owl pellets thing, but that is not an animal that was, like, very recently alive. It was bones.
So Firelight wants to know what we are drawing right now. In general, it is Froggos, but what specific Froggo?
I'm doing the Froggo with a top hat and a monocle.
The classic Froggo.
Yeah, just getting me started with this Froggo. He's a tree frog. And you can tell it's been a while since I've drawn frogs because, like, his face looks like Kermit, but his body looks like a regular frog.
So ICP mentions that they could not look at the Froggos when they were dissecting. They just took notes, which now that I've given you the acronym makes me wonder, insert cheesy pun, had you intended to be ICP? Are you a fan of the Clown Posse? So they wait to answer. I'll tell stories. I have a lot of pseudo dissecting experience, but it is more butchering than dissecting. Not my favorite either, but one of my more intriguing stories is we were fishing in Canada and caught a few hundred fishies, and one of the fishies, when we were filleting them, had a giant tumor that was the size of, like, a large rubber bouncy ball in it. Was really weird looking. It was like the diameter of a quarter easily. They were pulling out of a fish that was probably, like, only, I don't know, 6-7 inches long. And then, like, it just popped right out. It was, like, so weird, not even, like, a bit of their flesh. It was like, I don't know.
Did you eat the tumor fish?
The fish, yes. The tumor, no.
So you still ate the fish?
Yes.
But it could have had, like, other tumors in it.
Yeah, but I mean, tumors don't spread through by being
I know, but that's
digested.
still gross. I just because I could eat a cancer tumor doesn't mean I want to.
I mean, like I said, we didn't eat the tumor. We just ate the fish, and there's a reasonable chance. There was like 8 of us up there. There was a reasonable chance somebody else ate that fish. All right. ICP is not actually a particular fan of clowns or their posses, just of cheesy puns.
I mean, ICP could also just be the most childish of jokes, just to make you say ICP.
Oh, that's true. That is a cheesy
Sort
pun.
of like IP freely or...
Yeah, there's that.
All right, you can definitely tell that this is my warm-up frog. I mean, I'm still not gonna... Somebody's still getting the warm-up frog as their frog, but definitely I need to get into my Froggy drawing groove for sure.
So Hedgehog inquires if the cancer, Cancer /tumors, is that sci-fi future meat? And it may very well be. It is currently science present lab, like, active stuff. Some lady had, like, cells that never stopped dividing or aging that we got randomly at one point, and now her cells are just, like, everywhere doing all of the science. So yeah, it could pretty easily also be the future meat. All right. So ICP's nickname while they were in high school was the Pun-isher because they would throw around so many puns. It was really amusing to see their classmates suffer during their 8:30 history class. Wait, history puns too?
Oh man. All right, so here's frog numero uno. Not my best work, but he's still cute. He's a dapper tree frog. Just hanging out. Dapper gentleman.
All right, I must take a quick break as my tree water overflowing.
Adam has to go deal with the tree situation. had a horse that was a bit of a medical freak, and the stuff that came out of this animal, mineral deposits from the mouth, was my favorite. Horses find ways to be like a problem, a medical problem, and you're like, how? It's magic. Don't mind me just like looking at the chat here, waiting for Adam to come back so we can keep an eye on things. How is your tree water, Adam?
Are you talking to me?
I said, how is your trees? Or your tree water, I should say.
It is the level I wanted it to be at, so I've turned it off. I'll have to drive the tree water around a little bit to see if it is over full, and I need to not fill it so much in the future, and then I will take it to the trees.
To the trees! Somebody was asking about Four, who is from Divergent, as a Froggo, but like I read Divergent a very long time ago, so I don't really remember anything about that character. He had some tattoos,
He was
but otherwise,
the big
like,
muscly hunk of a man.
He was just like some guy, like.
Yeah, but he was the muscly hunk love interest, some guy.
Yeah. So I wanted to draw a lady Froggy. I'm going to draw her, and you guys can think of more Froggies.
Gale and Peter. Peter was the bread guy. Gale was the other guy. He looked, in the movie, he looked a lot like Gale.
Did he?
I mean, not facially, but large, muscular, white guy with shaggy black hair.
Gale's not even supposed to be a white guy. I'm just drawing this anthro Froggy. I can be a little bit more just like, whatever.
Wow. Catching up with the chat. KJ, in the future, instead of looking it up in their first year medical vet textbook, they'll just ask ChatGPT.
Well, I mean, ChatGPT probably has your first year medical textbook in it. So it's the same thing, except for you just tell a robot to skip a step for you.
Yeah, as long as it's not like a medical textbook that came out this year, yeah, probably does.
It's like using Google but skipping a step.
Oh, okay. We're getting an explanation from the Hedgety Hog. Michigan J Frog is the old "Hello, my honey" frog.
Oh.
Apparently, that's his name.
I didn't even know he had a name.
Firelight mentions if you get sick of froggies, you could do a Rumpelstiltskin as a dodo.
Oh yeah, Firelight was pushing heavily for dodos before when we were talking before on the can't remember what we were talking about it, but pushing heavily for dodos.
Firelight suggests Rumpel as a pretty tree frog, one of those bright poison frogs. A tree frog is a specific kind of poisony tree frog.
So I do not watch the show that fairy tale show. What is it?
Ever After?
I don't even know. But the one that like Rumpelstiltskin got popularized from.
Yeah.
So like what makes him distinctive? If I was to draw him as a frog, like what about him would make people go, ah, yes, that frog is clearly Once Upon a Time, yes. That frog is clearly Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time.
Once upon a time, yes, Firelight helped us out. Excellent. All right. I have a slight duct tape emergency. I'll be right back.
Okay. He's got a coat and a dagger with his name on it. Okay, well, I mean, the dagger could be a giveaway if they can see his name on there. Although, isn't the, like, okay, I've not seen the show, but original OG Rumpelstiltskin's whole thing was that you were not supposed to be able to guess his name. Is that, like, part of the show that he, like, has the dagger with his name on it as, like, a thing? Like, it's part of the... Ah, yes, you will never find out my name, except for don't read this dagger. All of my Froggies are ending up, like, not centered on the page, and I don't know why that's happening, why I'm messing that up. Usually not a problem that I have, necessarily. My Froggy lady, what should she have? What should she have? She could have a fly as a pet on a leash.
Alright, hopefully the duct tape emergency is resolved.
Dare I ask what the heck was up with the duct tape emergency?
You may ask.
Will you tell me?
I would tell you all I knew.
Okay. I don't know, maybe I like it better super vague.
My parents are asking. I'm assuming they're trying to fix their trailer with it.
Oh, I needed some duct tape.
Alright, Firelight was gonna suggest the one from Once Upon a Time, but they feel like that would be like Sherlock as a duck.
Especially since I'm not even really familiar with the character.
In the show, the name is a different thing. The dagger is tied to his dark magic, and if you have the dagger, you control the person with the magic. In this case, Rumpelstiltskin.
Interesting.
Does have a distinct coat.
Alright, I've got my frog lady that I wanted to draw. Here she is. She's a Victorian frog lady. She's out for a walk with her pet fly.
You could always do your Rumpelstiltskin. The jacket is very similar to the show's Rumpelstiltskin.
So I once played Rumpelstiltskin in a children's play, and I played him as like a gangster with like a coat, like not even really a gangster so much as like one of those seedy salespeople that you see on TV. And so he'd be like, "You want to buy a watch or a baby?"
Yes, you do that, Rumpelstiltskin.
He was great.
His dagger is also the only way to kill him, but then you become the new person who gets the magic, and the name of the dagger changes to you. So it's kind of like you get to be cursed instead of the guy you just freed from the curse. Johnny Young asks, is that the princess frog that you just showed us?
No, she's just a Victorian lady frog. Just hanging out with her fly.
Just Victorian lady, not necessarily princess frog.
No, probably not a princess. She's not dressed fancy enough for it. All right, what am I drawing next?
Dueling froggos, but they're fighting both with foil and tongue.
That sounds like a lot, and I do kind of want to draw it, but at the same time, that sounds like a lot. I have 10. I have to draw 10 frogs, Adam.
Okay. So this is two of them. You use two different cards, and they're fighting each other, and you'll show both of them next to each other on the camera and draw them next to each other, but then they're two postcards. Two froggies dueling across the scene.
Maybe.
And they're each like parrying each other's tongue. Like each of them is like lashing out with their tongue, and their tongue goes across the other card. And they both have like a sword out or a buckler out parrying their opponent's tongue as they try to go into the kill.
That would be very cool, but again, I have 10 postcards to draw.
KJ has a simpler suggestion, though not as cool, that you just do a pirate frog.
The pirate frog is definitely a possibility. All right, I'm doing my take on a Rumpelstiltskin frog, but it's not going to be what anybody wanted or expected.
We've also got a couple other suggestions that Rambo frog,
Rambo frog,
a mime frog, tangled but with the tongue tangled, so a lady frog in the tower with another froggo dangling from tongue. Wind in the willows frog. Ooh, John's got a robot frog. You can do a robot or cyborgy frog.
Did anybody else relate to Mr. Toad from Wind in the Willows? Like, yeah, I related to Mole a little bit because he's a little bit socially anxious, but like Toad, man, he was unhinged, and I love that about him.
Oh, do you remember who Brontes is?
Yes.
So there's a suggestion for you to do Brontes from the Savior series as a frog.
Angry frog. Angry froggy boy.
Another vote for the robot frog. We have a couple other suggestions, such as Watson as a frog, or a cowboy frog, frog from Wind in the Willows, an Iron Man frog.
I was getting very into the Froggy theme. I thought that nobody would be interested in the Froggy theme, and everyone's like, yeah, it's frogs!
A superhero frog, a frog that dresses as Superman, perhaps. Firelight mentions that they remember nothing from the Wind in the Willows.
You remember nothing except remember that Toad is unhinged, and I love it. He has absolutely no concern for his own personal safety or the safety of others, and he's just like, I will do what I want, and nothing will get in my way. Ever onwards and upwards, ever forwards and faster. That's what Mr. Toad says, and I'm like, that's the vibe I want to live by. And even when bad shit happens to him, he just gets up and does himself off and keeps going with his latest unhinged scheme.
So Firelight came prepared. They brainstormed Froggy ideas last night.
Oh, well, that's a good way to make sure that at least one of your Froggy ideas gets used.
The karate
so
frog.
Many.
The karate frog fighting a cobra from Cobra Kai.
I would have to like look at references because I have not. I watched The Karate Kid once, I think, as a child.
It's just like a generic light fighting gi, and then the Cobra Kai cobra where like you know how to draw a cobra, and then he wears like a black and yellow fighting gi. There have been a second and a third for the cowboy frog, and then we need to know is the cowboy what is special about the cowboy frog? Is he riding a horse? Does he have a pistol? Or
don't ask me to draw guns. It'll go as well as me trying to draw a rocket ship.
Okay, so maybe it's a cowboy frog with a whip then, or a lasso. A samurai frog. Sifu frog. Do you recognize what Sifu is?
No, I feel like I should.
KJ mentions that the cowboy frog should be bow-legged with chaps. Frog in a hot air balloon.
Oh, that could be cute. Maybe okay. One of those little round froggies. I need an excuse to draw one of those round frogs. That's just like orb with like the little bitty legs.
Is he the hot air balloon itself?
Yeah, like is he the hot air? And there's another frog in the basket.
Yes. So the chat has suggested a samurai frog, which reminds me that there is a time in history where a samurai could have sent a telegraph message to Abraham Lincoln. So perhaps we should have a samurai frog sending a telegraph message to a frog Abe Lincoln.
Again, Adam, complicated.
They could be different cards. You have a samurai frog in one working a telegraph machine.
Stop trying to make multiple card things happen, Adam.
I mean, this one would be easier. They wouldn't be the same scene because the telegraph message arrives at a different time, and Abe Lincoln Frog would be sitting there. Heck, he could be even having it being read to him or have a letter.
Seems kind of a waste of a samurai frog if what he's doing is sending a telegram.
You could have him reciting poetry and beheading someone at the same time then.
Besides, what if I want to do a girl samurai frog? There were samurai women, you know.
Okay, she could be reciting poetry and beheading an enemy then. Hedgehog mentions the hat and the herd of sheep silhouetted in the distance, or a lasso tongue for the cowboy frog. Ooh, I like the lasso tongue idea. Hedgehog is saying that think Rango, Sensei, seafood. Oh, a frog holding a bow and arrows. I am getting a second for the Abe Lincoln Frog.
Just Abe Lincoln Frog.
Ooh, the bad lady from the Three Musketeers is a frog.
My lady.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, a king frog, a Game of Thrones style king frog.
This one I'm making that for my Rumpelstiltskin is actually, I keep adding elements. Getting more and more complicated by the second.
Frog went a courting song.
Frog. Oh, I liked that song when I was a kid. Froggy went a courting. I used to sing that one. All right, here's my Rumpelstiltskin frog. I don't know if you guys are able to read because I think it's backwards. But he says, "I made you gold. Now guess my name, bitch."
Oh goodness.
I hope whoever gets that frog doesn't mind some swearing. All right, that's 3. All right, samurai frog. Let me look up samurais. What do they look like?
Oh, yeah. We have many good ideas. Samurai frog is a reasonable frog.
I've only done 3. I've got more frogs.
Mm-hmm. We may end up having to do a secondary Froggy stream.
I did not think the Froggy stream was going to be so popular with like everybody's ideas.
Alright. What else we got? We've got KJ has mentioned a frog using a flower as an umbrella. They're
That's
trying to think of cuter frogs.
Adorable.
I could see that. Yeah, that one's pretty cute. Firelight's still lobbying for the Brontes frog. I think it would be pretty funny. They also mentioned a very proud Roman emperor frog with a missing eye. Samurai Champloo frog.
Never watched that one. Samurai frog. How much armor do I want to do? I don't know. The samurai frog might turn out too cool. I might want to keep him.
We do have a second for the Brontes frog.
A second from another person?
From a different person.
Okay.
Although Kay may be in cahoots with Firelight.
Using those alt accounts.
Samurai Shampoo Frog, Froggy. Oh, which I think is a frog Loki, Froggy.
No, that's a Pokemon.
Oh, never mind. Of course, you could do a frog Loki too.
Could do a
as
frog
well
Loki
as
as
the Pokemon.
well.
A frog who is riding a rocket saying, I am a rocket frog.
You just want me to have to draw another rocket.
There's who is the guy who sang Rocket Man?
Elton John?
Yes,
that who
Elton
it
John is a frog singing Rocket Frog.
Rocket Frog.
Cowboy Bebop frog. Okay. Firelight mentions they don't know if we're familiar with the middle grade retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, I'm assuming, but in that book, the miller's daughter is classically beautiful, but has weird frog-like traits. I'm curious as to what weird frog-like traits you remember, Firelight. I'm assuming not a frog-like tongue, but what else?
Okay, well that if she had that, then she wouldn't have had any trouble getting the king to marry her.
KJ does mention that photocopy is a thing, so if you like the samurai frog, you can just photocopy it and send the copy on to
Yeah, I know. Well, I can't send a photocopy on. I need they need to have the postcard, but I could keep it keep the copy for myself.
Just send them a special note. Be like, I loved it too much, but let it be known that the image you're getting is my favorite. You just don't have the original. Sorry. Firelight mentions that the miller's daughter's eyes move independently of each other, and her tongue eats frogs at random moments.
I'm assuming that means flies.
And maybe eats flies or acts like a frog's tongue at random moments. Ooh, Hedgehog wants a link frog or a frog with T-shaped sunglasses.
Suppose I should probably do Link Frog because of the new Zelda game that's out. Samurai Frog is complicated. Also, do not have all of the Froggy in the picture because he's too tall. But that's okay. His feet don't really matter all that much.
Firelight Break eats flies at random moments. So the miller's daughter has independent eyes and eats flies at random moments.
That is a weird situation.
Apparently, it is really weird and never explained.
That is very strange. Never explained. Are you sure she didn't come over from like the Princess and the Frog and?
I mean, maybe that was the implication.
The daughter of the Princess and the Frog. All right. Well, maybe I want to do some mountains here for the samurai frog.
So the samurai is finishing chat. We've had many good ideas and suggestions. We should go over those though. Throw out what you think would be the next best one to start on. What should frog number 5 be? Should it be Abe Lincoln receiving the telegram? Should it be the cowboy frog or the hot air frog?
Abe Lincoln will
balloon?
not be receiving the
Give us
telegram.
your votes.
All right, I'm gonna go back over to the stream. Stop looking at the samurai. All right, here he's not amazing, but he's okay. He's a samurai frog. Here he is. All right, that's 4. Next frog.
We have a new suggestion of a frog wearing a chiton.
Oh yeah, Link. I should draw Link as a frog. Let me get some reference for Link.
Dragon frog.
I remember what he looks like.
Link or a dragon frog from Hedgehog. KJ does have a random fun frog story. When they lived in Japan, it was the longest they went without a pet. They were so lonely, they almost kidnapped a toad to take home and care for because they missed having pets that much. Okay.
I mean, that's pretty relatable.
This isn't, let's see, did you say you said fun frog story. That is not yet a fun frog story. It's close, but you didn't take the frog/toad home. So you have to embellish. How long were you ogling that toad, or did you pick it up and hold it for a long time and take it partway home before no, I can't. I don't have the facilities to take care of Mr. Toady, and then released him. It's not quite a fun story. You need to give us a little bit more, KJ. Hedgehog suggests a John Wilkes Booth frog if you're not going to do an Abe Lincoln frog. Firelight mentions if 4 was a frog, that would explain how the Dauntless could jump on and off trains.
I thought they just used their cool kid powers.
All right, so KJ is giving us more deets on their fun frog story. It was 2 a.m. and they were coming back from karaoke, and he was on the bike path, and they were a little buzzed and saw the toad and started crying because they wanted to take him home.
Aww. Aww.
But they were in a dorm room and on the 5th floor, so they couldn't take care of it, so they didn't. And poor Froggy didn't get to have a nice warm home to go home to. Although probably you passed up the best gentleman you could have ever taken home after karaoke.
So I have a really important question. Should Link Frog have hair? It feels weird. His eyeballs are on the top of his head. But also, he doesn't quite look like Link without the hair. Hair for Link Frog, everyone. Yay or nay?
Hair and a hat, but it's on his back.
I mean, hat, obviously, but hair.
We've got 1 yes for hair in the chat. Firelight's indifferent, says flip a coin. Hedgehog just says yes, but only the bangs.
I'm not sure where to put them. Do I put them behind his eyeballs, in which case they're too far back, or in front of his eyeballs, in which case it just looks really weird. Either way you do it, because he's got eyeballs on the top of his head, because he's a frog. There's no good way. There's no good way to give a froggy hair.
Tintin the frog. Hedgehog is suggesting maybe just a cowlick for the Link frog.
I think maybe I've got it to not look. He doesn't look like a Link. He just looks like a weird, like he's got shaggy ears, kind of.
Hedgehog wants him cross-eyed. Make him cross-eyed.
Why would he be cross-eyed?
Because he's a frog? Because he's funny?
This link frog is harder than I thought it would be.
Just give him the master sword. and be done with it.
Toughest challenge of my night so far. Link frog. I'm giving him the wooden shield because the Hylian shield is way too intricate to draw for a Froggy stream.
Or is it just the right amount of intricate?
No.
In fact, this seems actually not quite intricate enough. They're not dueling across several cards yet.
You can draw the ones dueling across several cards, Adam.
All right. So what you need to do is we get a heavy-duty card stock, bigger sheet of paper, and you draw some more elaborate scenes, and then we use a paper cutter to cut them down
We just
to
cut them into postcards. I see.
afterwards. All right, Hedgehog explains their cross-eyedness because they're distracted by the bangs. They're like looking at their bangs with their wide, foggy eyes. Firelight suggests a YouTuber frog, but I'm not sure exactly what that would look like. Kay is requesting that we need a stream playlist, and yeah.
I mean, if you look under streams in my on my channel, I think there's like a separate spot for streams, or I could make a playlist that's just the art streams though, just the drawing streams. I'm kind of trying to combine various links here, and it's not going super well. This frog is like, does not actually look all that much like Link, I'll be real.
Aww. Poor Link.
I guess maybe Link isn't supposed to be a frog. You know how Sherlock isn't supposed to be a goose? Maybe Link is just not frog material.
Yes. Hedgehog is reminding me, I didn't call out before, Teenage Mutant Ninja Frog. And they also suggest a Mario Kart frog.
That would probably mean I'd have to draw a cart. We're not doing that. Man, I have to draw the Master Sword? What the heck does that look like?
You don't have to. You could just draw him with a stick, as we discovered from
That's
watching.
true. You could just have a stick. But now I've started on the Master Sword. I need to find a better image of the Master Sword. All this work for a Master Sword for a frog that doesn't even really look all that much like Link.
That's why you need the Master Sword. You look more like Link, you could do it without the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Ooh, you could have drawn an ocarina.
Too late. He's already got a shield. I gotta give him a sword.
We got a couple suggestions for a snorkeling frog.
My concentration face as I try to draw the Master Sword badly. Anything that involves a lot of straight lines is definitely not my forte.
right, so Julian did override me with the Link Frog as their next one, whose hair is flowing in the breeze. It's almost more of a Fabio frog.
I
than
know.
a
There's no way to
Link
good.
frog.
There's no way to put hair on a frog. It just looks bad. It looks bad. If I'm leaving it now, I'm committed.
I don't know about bad. It just doesn't. But it does not look at like Link. At least not from the face. But I mean, it is a froggy face, so I understand why it doesn't look like Link's face.
Maybe the Master Sword will help. People be able to tell.
But we've had many great suggestions in the chat for what frogs to draw, and we should get your nominations for frog number 6. What should be the next frog? Oh, it's all right, cursed content. You don't need to be distressed. You're here now, and you can make froggy suggestions now. We're so far doing a frog-themed drawing escapade. All right, so Brontes is coming around again as some people's favorites. All right, what else, people? We looked through the stream. What were some of your favorites? We got Brontes. If you all love that idea, we make Julian draw Brontes the frog. If you hate that idea,
It's just an angry frog with an eye patch.
If you hate that idea, you can always do the Abe Lincoln frog. That's what I'm pushing right now. All right. Snorkeling is Hedgehog's favorite. Firelight's doubling down on Brontes, though they also are splitting their vote for Venom from Spider-Man.
Other people need to do some fandoms that I'm more familiar with.
No, Kirst, I don't think I saw your frog and after the car crash suggestion. So the Mario Kart suggestion, but not the frog car crash suggestion?
Is a frog after a car crash just a flat frog?
Oh, no, a frog with his car being towed away.
Oh, it's a frog being towed.
Yes, a frog being towed.
Wait, who suggested that?
I don't know who was the original suggester, but cursed content reminds me.
I feel like if it wasn't the person who was famous for puns, then we've just wasted our time here.
Indeed. I was also hoping ICP was the one who had suggested it.
Sorry, I'm redoing Link Frog's arm because it ended up not being in the same style as the rest of his body. I started doing cartoon Link, and then I kind of stopped doing that and started doing a different Link, and this frog is just all over the place.
Kay apparently has a rule to always bring the Savior's Champion into the stream.
Never not Savior's Champion. Are you secretly a Savior's Champion fan, and you're just trying to keep it relevant so that Jenna can make more book sales?
Secretly a Jenna alt coming in here to make you think about her.
Jenna, is that you? Sorry Link is taking so long. He's just being very difficult. Reminiscent of trying to draw Sherlock Holmes as a goose.
I mean, Fabio Frog is beautiful. But I do have to warn you, artist, and as well as the viewers, that my time with you all is limited, for I do still need to fetch water to my tree children.
No, all right, I need to go faster because I desperately need Adam to keep track of the chat. All right, here's Link. Here he is.
Like I said, Fabio Frog.
The hair on a frog just does not look correct. All right, I'm only halfway there, guys. All right.
Well, we can do a second follow-up frog drawing night later this week. If we don't get through them all in the next little bit. But the chat
right.
votes so far seem to be. We got mine. Like you're supposed to mention your favorite, not just keep listing all of the frogs.
I think I have to draw Bronte's frog, even though that's just an angry frog in a toga with an eye patch, because everybody wants Bronte's frog.
And we do have several votes for that, and/or for Savior Frog, so Savior Champion Frog. So yes, I think so. Although the snorkeling frog does sound very cute.
Does anybody remember which eye Bronte's has an eye patch on? Because I'm not going to look that up.
Checking the chat. Anyone gonna help us? First content just says, screw it, give them 2 eye patches.
It's hard to make a frog look angry. They don't have eyebrows.
Firelight is checking with fan art for us. They have not bought into Cursed Content's pitch for 2 eye patches. Firelight tells us it is the Froggo's left eye.
His left eye, all right.
So that'll be the right as you look at it, because the Froggo is reversed.
Indeed. How do I do an eye patch on a frog? Because once again, we have the problem of eyeballs on top of head. Think that works. Sort of like a cup over the top of his eye. Man, it is hard to get a lot of like aggressive personality from a frog. Does he have a goatee? Should I try to do a goatee on a frog?
I mean, goatees are historically evil.
I feel like maybe Bronte's has a goatee, but I don't remember. Go back to the fan art. Someone tell me. A light lark frog.
All right, have the frog have like a cigar in his mouth, or like capturing a cigar with his tongue.
Yeah, but like Bronte's doesn't smoke a cigar.
Well, what weapons does Bronte's have?
Stupidity, mostly.
All right, have him wield stupidity with his tongue, then.
Gonna have him have blood on his hand. It's a little froggy hand. I think there are like depictions of Bronte's with a dagger, but like.
Hedgehog is suggesting that you just add floating evil eyebrows. Teeth is another option. Ooh, you could give a vampire frog, a Dracula frog.
I could do a vampire frog. Frogs with teeth. It's like birds with teeth. It shouldn't be a thing.
Firelight confirms that he has some facial hair, but does not specify what facial hair. So I am imagining whiskers, and you should draw whiskers on the frog. Hedgehog suggesting a new frog, Glenn the Frog from Chrono Trigger, the frog character.
I was waiting for someone to suggest that frog, because like it's a very famous frog, anthro frog.
Again, I see P is missing their opportunities, but cursed content snatched it away from them with, do you think it's frustrating for Frog Brontes watching all of his senators croak?
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
It was. Can I promote Firelight? Firelight is.
You having trouble there, Adam?
Yeah, yes, I am. I do not have high enough authorities, Firelight, to give you permissions to add a link to the chat. I apologize. Firelight tried to give us a link to Hit Bronte's facial hair.
I could look it up myself. I just cannot be arsed.
You absolutely could look it up yourself.
Give it everybody lines this time.
Alright, I'm gonna peek over the shoulder to see how the progress is going.
All right, I've almost got Bronte's frog here. Here's Bronte's frog. Best I could do. He will have blood on his little hand. It will be red. All right, that's 6.
Alright, so we've got 4 remaining, which is a decent number for a future stream. If you want to do one more, I can keep my tree children thirsting for one more card, but then I need to go.
No, I don't. When are we gonna have time to do another stream, though? That's the question.
Not tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Sometime after tomorrow
Wednesday?
is theoretically possible.
Guys, I mean, your tree children gonna be thirsty for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I probably have an hour or more worth of watering to do.
What do you guys think? Should we? Because I won't be able to keep up with the chat. Would you guys rather just sit here and just watch me draw without Adam's scintillating personality, or do you want to come back for another stream, possibly on Wednesday?
You could always blip your tongue out to keep them entertained.
I will not. That's a different kind of entertainment. We don't do that here.
Well, no, the when you're serious and concentrated, you stick your tongue out.
I only do it sometimes. Usually, I chew on the inside of my lips. I actually pull my lips in. Who's Glenn?
We do have Aries Mar, Frog of War. There's another vote for the hot air balloon frog.
Could do the hot air balloon frog. So what do you guys think? Give me your answers now. Stay
they do
or
want
go.
one more frog for tonight, it sounds like.
All right, let me get the round boy frog so he can be the hot air balloon. I could always just draw the rest of the frogs myself. I don't have to draw during a stream.
So Firelight mentions they didn't know trees were so needy, but these are my tree children, and I'm a little bit obsessive. But also, we just planted them on Saturday, and if you're doing it right in the first week of having planted new trees, you should water them every day. That being said, it rained yesterday, so that saved me yesterday. But I should get out there as much as I can to water them this week. However, there are about 600 of them. So it's more like if I spend an hour watering half of them tonight and an hour watering the other half tomorrow, I'll only be neglecting them a little bit. Hegemon demands the Chrono Trigger Glen. Draw me my demands, they declare. We also have, what is it, from Cursed Content, an earlier comment, the progress or the frogress, draw the frogress.
What kind of bad legs do these little froggies have?
Hoppity ones?
Not really. They're the very round boy froggies. They don't really hop so much as just kind of waddle.
Waddling frogs.
They also make very angry little chirp noises like
Oh, that's right, I've heard them. Oh goodness. Everyone needs, do you know what they're named?
Just look up round frog. Legitimately. I just looked at round frog and got like all the pictures.
But you need to hear the noise. I wonder if I can post links in the chat. Yes. All right, everyone, immediately stop watching Julian's stream and go watch this video of a cute frog making froggy noises. I'm going off mute so I can enjoy it.
So angry. So, Adam, look, Giorgio was right behind you. She's like, what is that noise? The cat is really interested.
All right, I will stop the echo now for you all. I apologize, but I had to listen to the tiny frog. KJ has rejoined us. Apparently they had a last-minute work emergency. Ugh, that sounds horrible.
Work. Once again, I say gainful employment in this economy.
Can't the AI just do that?
Right? Come on, AI, take over faster. But then the problem is the AI will take over and like then humans still won't be paid. And so we'll just all die of starvation and the AI will just live on without us. So we don't need to have a robot uprising. We're too stupid to take care of ourselves. Just like should have thought of that before you weren't born a millionaire.
Firelight wants to know if we got new ferrets. And I'm not sure when our last stream was.
New-ish ferrets?
I
did post a reel about it, but my reels are super easy to miss because judging by the numbers on my reels, YouTube is not promoting those at all.
All of our animals are new to us animals. We've never gotten a new animal. Always rehomed. We are up to 5 ferrets now. So if that is more than you remember, then yes, we have an additional ferret or 2 added to our clan. We are now at Jadzia and Tendi are our 2 newest to join the family. And five bonus points to whoever can recognize the source for both of those excellent names.
Jadzia is a little easier, but Tendi, I'll be surprised if people can get.
Yes, curse content. You are spelling it correctly. Tendy.
No, it's not spelled with a Y. It's spelled with an I. Tendy with
Sorry,
an I on the
can't
end.
spell.
It's pronounced like tendy, like chicken tender, but it's not short for chicken tender.
There it goes, Giorgio.
All right, here's my hot air balloon frog. He flies through the air with the greatest of ease. All right, I've got 7. I have 3 more to draw.
So if you think you can finish anyone else's suggestion in 5 minutes, I can stick around. But otherwise, if it'll take longer than that, I must go tend to my 3 children.
I mean, stick around as long as you can. Just keep entertaining the people. All right, what am I drawing next? What were some of the other suggestions?
Cowboy frog or snorkeling frog were amongst the most popular ones.
Mm-hmm. Snorkeling frog has like goggles, which again, frog with goggles.
Wouldn't need goggles so much as the snorkeling straw that lets them breathe.
Okay, I guess I'll do that one. People wanted that one. Do that one. You were looking at my samurai frog, Adam.
I am looking at your samurai frog.
Did he turn out okay? Like, I was really happy with him at the beginning, and then I wasn't so sure.
No, I think he turned out well. He might kill someone, but that is what they are for. But he definitely needs to stop and send a telegram before he does. We do have a insistent fan of Glenn from Chrono Trigger, so in your remaining 2, one
We'll definitely
Glenn,
have to look up
or
that character because I do not.
Or you will have hurt a friend. Dodo Rumble is again recommended. Tendy is not short for chicken tender. It is the full name of a character who we named Tendy after. Well, first name, not full name, but yeah.
Actually, I believe it's the last name.
Oh, might be the last name.
You should like find links for the characters, Adam, so you can like post them right before you go.
Maybe. Curse content recommends Froggles, which I'm not sure. Is that like frog versions of Fraggles, or are you meaning something else, Firelight? Or no, curse content. Sorry. Firelight just keeps chanting Dodo Rumble in the hopes that I mistake it for other people voting for Dodo Rumble. Oh, Froggles are frog goggles, not Fraggles as frogs. Froggles. Alright, I am performing my obligations of getting images of the people. Can I do that? I wonder. I don't know if I can. I wonder if the stream will let me paste images in, or if I have to do links.
You probably have to do links.
Yep, have to do links.
Did anybody go listen to the cute cheap frog?
I think people did. All right, so we'll do that one, and then we will do
I'm gonna give the snorkeling frog some little froggy swim trunks. Because if he's wearing a snorkel, why wouldn't he also be wearing swim trunks?
My link is. And you were correct. Tendy was the last name.
Keep in mind, everyone, that we are nerds in your guessing of the names for our pets. Aside from Chai, pretty much all of our pets have nerdy names. Chai is just named after our favorite beverage.
I'm catching. Firelight wants to know if you're still scanning them for a coloring book, and you gosh darn well better be, because that was a genius idea of mine.
I have been, not all of them though, because I'm incredibly lazy, and our scanner is like always got stuff on top of it.
It's not the scanner's fault.
Yeah, but there's I need to find another place for the stuff.
I'm wasting my brilliant idea.
Probably nobody would buy the coloring book anyway.
Hey, some of us would, and again, you're already doing most of the work for it. We do have another recommendation for the Sweeney Todd frog.
More angry, trying to draw more angry frogs.
Or a frog, at least a frog with a razor blade. Let me see. What am I?
All right, here is Snorkel Frog. There he is.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was going to ask. Okay.
All right, 2 more frogs. Is Shelby here, by the way? Have we seen Shelby in the chat? Shelby, you in the chat? No, do not, Jojo. It's not for you. Froggus. All right, I need to look up that one frog from the video game.
So I do, Glenn. So I do need to say the Froggy, Snorkeling Froggy has reminded me that they have forward-facing eyes mounted high upon their head, which suggests that they are an ambush predator, just like Cookie Monster, a submerged ambush predator.
Adam likes the fact that Cookie Monster is very clearly a submerged ambush predator.
He stalks cookies from below the table and then comes up from below and snatches them. But that, unfortunately, is all I've got. I must take care of my tree children. Thank you all for your time and attention. She's got 2 more, one of which is Frog Glenn from Chrono Trigger. So you've got one last chance to see your Froggy demands drawn.
Just so you guys know, I am not looking at the chat right now because I am looking at a reference for the frog in question. So talk amongst yourselves, I guess, really. Never drawn him before, so like it's a little weird. I like the character. It's just like, how to draw him? Frogs famous for their little mouth whiskers. What element am I missing that's making him not look like he does in this piece of reference art? Why don't it's his eyes? I'm not getting his eyes right. I think that's a big factor. Other people's characters in a style that is reminiscent but different from mine. Hard to draw. Like similar enough to my style where I like want to just default to my style, but I can't because it's not actually my style. What is his face? How does it like look sharp and round at the same time? There's a little bit of Yoshi in here, in his face, like early Yoshi. I used to draw Yoshi a lot when I was a kid. Make his eyes too big? Too small? Something about the eyes is not working. Gonna let you down, Hedgehog. This character is not as easy to draw as he seems like he would be. He's deceptively simple. But actually, he's kind of, like, his face is very distinctive. Like, you look at his little face and you're like, yep, that's that frog. And I'm not getting it right. I'm about to give up and just draw his costume and hope that's enough. Sort of like Link Frog. Let the costume prove to you that that's this character, huh? Big oval eyes. I also made his head too big, so I'm probably not going to get all of him in this picture. I just kept like, he wasn't the right size. He wasn't working out. You know what? I'm going to start over. I'm not happy with it. I'm starting over. Maybe I can try again and get him right. We'll find out. Anything happening in the chat? I'll stop back in and see what's going on over here. What did I miss? I have not read Tintin. All right, I'm going back to trying to draw this frog. This frog is going to be my demise. Let's start with the eyes. Big eyes, big eyes. It just looks horrifying because I've just got two giant eyes on the page right now, and that's it. Sometimes when I try to draw something too precise, like sometimes I can do it, like I can draw like a likeness if I want to, and sometimes I just is like, no. I mean, this is turning out frog-like. It's just I'm just not convinced it's this frog. How is your face, buddy? Luckily for Hedgehog, they are not a patron, or a postcard patron, so they will not be getting this abomination in the mail. This means somebody else will. This will be somebody else's Froggy problem for them to identify. Like, who is that? The mouth is also a problem. It's got a very distinctive mouth. That is not actually it's a very lizardy mouth. Not actually a very froggy mouth at all. Mm-hmm. Hope everybody's enjoying the chat over there, because I am trying to get this reference right. You know those times when you're drawing and you know you have the elements, but you've got them all slightly wrong? He looks like a snapping turtle. Why does he look like a snapping turtle? Why doesn't he? I don't know. People who draw, I'm sure you've been there, where you're like, okay, I drew it like I think it is on the page, and instead it is the opposite of that. And it's like, but by itself, on its own, it looks like it's supposed to. But you put it on the page with the thing, with the other elements, and it no longer looks like it's supposed to. I'm about to give up on this guy. I don't think I can draw this frog. He just looks more and more not like Uncanny Valley version of himself. No. All right. I'm sorry, Hedgehog. I'm giving up. This is my second attempt, and I cannot draw this frog. So I'm afraid I am not drawing Glenn the Frog, because I apparently cannot draw this frog. Look at. Do you want to see? Look at. Look. That's not him. That's maybe a frog or a snapping turtle. Not really sure. It has elements of him. It's like that mouth. That's how his mouth looks. But when I put it on his face, it doesn't look right. Like, that's it. I'm not trying to draw that frog anymore. Not trying to draw that frog anymore. All right, still 2 frogs to go. Shelby, you are here? Shelby, do you want this capybara that I have left over colored and sent to you instead of a frog? Because I know you like a capybara. And I drew it as an additional capybara after the capybara stream, and then the person who it was going to go to, it turned out that they did not want to receive things through the mail, which I should have checked before I drew the capybara, but I didn't. But yeah, if you want, Shelby, you can have this guy instead of a frog. Let me know. I also have this Tobias and Layla left over, because the person who it was going to go to stopped supporting me on the postcard level. So, no postcard. So if anybody wants that one, any of my patrons want that one instead of a frog, do let me know. Do let me know. All right. I need to do 2 more frogs. And I have a theory about Tintin. Tintin is a journalist who has adventures with his dog and a drunk captain, and he seems to always get knocked out. So I think he has. Is it supposed to be accelerated healing or something? Tintin gets knocked out about every issue, and sometimes it is more than once. He always remained as smart as he was to begin with. All the trauma. All the trauma. Somebody just says, yes. Kay, what is yes? All right, I need another frog. Should I try to draw a cowboy frog? My confidence is shaken from attempting to draw that last frog. Oh, okay. I'll try to draw a cowboy frog, maybe. Froggy Rumple. I mean, I've got a Froggy Rumple. It's just not. It's not the way that everybody wanted. Because I'm a rebel. cowboy frog. All right, now I need to look at cowboy hats, and hopefully I'll not have as much trouble drawing those as I did trying to draw Glenn the frog, who I apparently find to be impossible to draw. All right, come on now, cowboy hat with eyeballs on the top of the head. Shouldn't be that hard, right? Why did I want to do a Froggy stream again? He could be holding his cowboy hat. He doesn't need to be wearing it. I'm going to have him be holding it, so I'll do his face first. I already have a Cappy, and I'm sure another of your patrons wanted a Cappy. Anybody, any patrons on here want a Cappy? More Cappy? All the Cappy? I don't know, Julian. You picked Froggies. Yeah, I know. This was a mistake. I thought I would be better at it. Oh man. You know, nobody ever said I was smart. People are never like, "Ah, yes, Julian, famously super intelligent, makes the best choices." I mean, I think this cowboy Froggy is going to turn out kind of cute, actually. At least so far, he seems to be cooperating with me. So far. Still trying to pitch that dodo rumple, huh? And I would have to look at a reference photo of a dodo bird because, like, I vaguely know how those look. I know you explained to me why you're obsessed with Rumpelstiltskin as a dodo bird, but like explain it again, because I don't remember. It's not a combination that feels natural to me, Rumpelstiltskin and a dodo bird. Get the Sweeney Todd frog back. Sweeney Frog. The pies are actually flies. They're fly pies. I can kind of tell that this is a cowboy hat. Kinda. Of course, if I keep adjusting it, starting to lose the cowboy hat because I keep playing with it. You know, some nights your drawing skill just goes out the window. I feel like this might be one of those nights. It's like my brain knows it's Monday. It's like, well, you don't need to be actually good at anything. I mean, this Froggy is pretty cute, I gotta say. This cowboy Froggy. He's not turning out the worst. Chaps. Chaps on a frog. So Rumpelstiltskin is my favorite fairy tale, and he's usually classed as distinctly other in some way. Dodos are distinctly other because they're an animal who are around humans, but they went extinct. They became excuse me, Nigel, don't step on those, please. They became a symbol of extinction because of humans. Interesting connection. Don't know as if I completely understand it, but you know. There's also a team of scientists who are actively working to resurrect the dodo as we speak. The first ever, very popular to pop culture. I want them to resurrect the Tasmanian tiger because that thing looked cool. But the dodo is very popular in pop culture. This guy looks like such an awkward Froggy, and I'm kind of on board with his awkwardness levels here. This cowboy frog. All right, here's a cowboy frog. He says howdy. He's come courtin'. I figured we'd kill two birds with one stone and have the frog that is courtin', and he's a cowboy. Give him some boots. There, fixed up his boots a little bit. There he is. He's a sweet boy. He's a good boy and loves his mama. It seems like a bad idea and could lead to scientific abomination down the line, but the theory sounds fun. I also want to see a Tasmanian tiger. Those feel like they would be easier because they went extinct recently. Reminds me of Kermit at the end of the Muppet movie. Yeah, I like Kermit. I relate to Kermit. Like, I relate to Gonzo too a lot, but Kermit, very relatable to me. He's a relatable boy. All right, I've only got one more. One more. Probably frog. I don't know. I mean, like, it's not that I don't want to draw a dodo bird. I think that's interesting. I just am not sure that I can make him look Rumpelstiltskin-y. He's just gonna look like a dodo bird in clothes. Like, I think we're gonna have another situation of Sherlock the Goose. I just am not convinced that I can do a good enough job to get across the Rumpelstiltskin as dodo bird. Like, maybe if you gave me more details, like, what about this dodo bird? What is this dodo bird doing? What is he wearing that is making him Rumpelstiltskin? You know the frog. You know the frog blow uppy throat sack? Yes, I say with trepidation where this is going. I wonder if you could hear our frogs if I open the window. Hang on, I'm gonna go open the window and see if you can hear the frogs. No, all you can hear is the birds. It's too early still for the frogs, not dark enough. Sorry, no frogs, only birds. Just waiting a minute to see if we get any like further details about the Rumpelstiltskin-ness of the dodo bird. Standing there with gold thread, maybe in the coat from the show under dagger. Would that be enough? Also, dodo birds are a weird shape, similar to the goose. I don't know how the long coat is going to work. I can give it a try, but it might not look right. Another frog hot air balloon, except the throat sac is the balloon. He's holding the basket in his feet. He's wearing shorts. And that's where the fire for the balloon is going. Interesting. I'll think about the froggy hot air balloon. I'm going to look at dodos and see if there's any way that I can make them look like they should be wearing a coat. That animal is not made for a coat. It's not a coat having animal. I'll give it a shot. I'll give her a shot and see if it just looks absolutely terrible. And I have to give up on it like Glenn the Frog. And then I'll have to look at pictures of Rumpelstiltskin to see if maybe I can capture a little bit of his personality once I have the basic, like, bird. Really reminiscent of a Skeksis. The face shape, just drawing just the shape. Skeksis vibes. I mean, I'm okay with that because I like Skeksis. And then they just kind of round. Like you get the head, you get the neck, round borb. I mean, right now, naked, he's looking kind of cute, but can I turn cute round borb into Rumpelstiltskin? Guess we'll find out. Let's go and look at some Rumpelstiltskin. Let's see if I can find something about his coat. Let's see if we can get an image of his coat here. Give me a Rumpelstiltskin coat. Give me a full body coat shot here. Why will you not show me his coat? Check back in and see how everybody's doing over here. Could have a spinning wheel. I don't draw spinning wheels very well, so that might not turn out super well either. Anything mechanical, which includes simple machines, not good at drawing. What are you good at drawing, Julian? Listen. Dodos, apparently. This guy's turned out real fucking cute before I put clothes on him. Like, I might show you a picture of the naked dodo here, just so you can see how cute he looks before I try to turn him into Rumpelstiltskin. Okay, like, look at this. Look at this little chubby man's. Look at that. It's like a plucked chicken, a chubby plucked chicken. Now I gotta try to put a coat on him. So everybody remember what he looked like before I destroy him with my inability to draw this coat. All right. Let's seeing if there's anything else going on in the chat real quick. Behold, a man. Oh my goodness, these are some sleeves on this coat. Okay. I bet you these sleeves aren't attached. I bet you these are separate. We broke down this costume. Never say I don't do nothing for my patrons. Try to turn. I mean, it's not the worst so far. See if I can make him look a little bit devious. Yeah. Maybe some scruffy feathers. Oh, the froggies are starting. Can anybody hear them? Can anybody hear the froggies outside? The train is also outside. Need to go back to my Art of the Dodo real quick here. Get their beak right. And their little feet. Dodo feet. Train is here. Everybody say hi, train. Dodo feet. So he's kind of in a pose in one of the pictures of him, of Rumple. Like just standing there, sort of very dignified. Not dignified per se, but just like, and then vibing. If you know who this is supposed to be, it could be him, which you will know who this is supposed to be, so maybe that'll be good enough. Okay, now it's one thing to have the top part of the coat. It's the draping of the coat that is a problem for a bird that is this shape. He's got a little poofy tail too, like the coat be over top of the poofy tail, or does the tail stick out through the coat? That is the question. I just feel like the tail sticks out through the coat, so that it, because otherwise it just looks like he's got a weird lump on his back. Going back and forth between my reference images here. What does the hem of your coat look like, Wimple? I am trying way too hard for this Rumpelstiltskin looking. Okay, interesting. Not what I pictured. I do have a love of coats. I have actually a fairly large coat collection myself, long coats, all the way. I would wear this coat. I could probably cosplay Rumpelstiltskin, this Rumpelstiltskin. He's not a very big guy, and I can cosplay small men really easily. Small blonde men, especially. I need to work on my like Dr. Horrible cosplay. I'm gonna leave his feet dodo feet instead of giving him boots. Hopefully that's okay. I don't know. Would he look better with boots or with dodo feet? What do we think? Dodo feet or boots? I just Googled him, and is that human skin? No wonder he went extinct. Do a dodo stream sometime. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I know. It's like either we acknowledge that he has bird feet and we make him be barefoot, or we acknowledge that he has boots and we just ignore the bird part of his feet, you know? Because I do like the top of the boots, and we're missing out on that. Some cool piratey looking boots, but at the same time, it's like, but verb. So I don't know. Go back to my reference here. Is that buttons? Is that buttons? Ah, no. Is that buttons on your coat? All over it? Swirls. There's swirlies, but not really buttons. So like some swirlies on here. I feel like this coat was specially made, which is cool. Like a lot of costume pieces you see, you're like, okay, that was just collected out of the costume room. But his coat looks like it was specially made. All right, I think I'm gonna call it here before I mess him up. All right, here he is. I don't know if he really looks like Rumple or maybe just like a wizard dodo. Like there's a picture that I used of Rumpelstiltskin where he's just kind of standing with his like hands in front of him, like kind of patronizing, and that's what I went for with the dodo. Maybe when I color it, it'll also help. But that's what we got. All right. And there's swirlies on the coat too, at least in the picture that I was looking at. All right. And maybe I can do something with texture when I color it. We'll see. I'll have to look at him again. I've used references to color. I mean, you wanted him, so you're gonna have to have him. I think you're on schedule for this round. Oh my goodness, there's only 3 people in the chat. Hi, 3 people in the chat. One of which is still Adam, so there's 2 people in the chat. Adam's still going over there. But thank you for sticking around. For anybody who's watching this afterward, hi, Jojo. Can I have you get down, please? Thank you. Anybody who's watching this afterward and wants to see all of the creatures, here's the first one. He's just a frog with a top hat and a monocle. The lady frog taking her fly for a walk. We have my first Rumpelstiltskin frog, which was done in my style, which was, nobody was expecting. Then we have samurai frog. So intense, so dark, so brooding. We have snorkel frog hanging out under the water with his little flower shorts. And link frog says a link to the pond. And his hair looks weird because hair on a frog looks weird. We have Brontes is a frog by popular demand. Frog with an eye patch looks interesting, but he's gonna have blood on his hands so that you can kind of tell a little bit more like how brutal he is. He might be like a poison dart frog, I feel like. We have hot air balloon frog with one of those big round frogs as the balloon. Because I wanted to draw a big round frog. And we have a cowboy frog. And then finally, we have not a frog at all, this dodo bird, Rumpelstiltskin. So, remind me, Firelight, later, just to be certain. Like, message me on Patreon and be like, the Rumpelstiltskin is mine. Make sure it comes to me. Just in case, just on the off chance that I forget. Just absolutely make certain that I cannot fuck this up by sending me a message and being like, me, that one's for me. All right, thanks. Thank you, those of you who joined. There's only a few of you left, but I appreciate you very much for sticking around. And if you're watching this stream later, hi, thanks for checking it out later. Check out the Froggy stream. Don't forget that you can get your very own postcard drawn by me in the mail every 3 months from my Patreon. So sign up over there if you are interested. And I do these streams once a month. It's kind of random when I do them because it's whenever I have time. So yeah, but what else do I need to say? This is like, it's like a video, but it's not a proper outro. Don't forget that you can hire me to developmentally edit your book, which has nothing to do with frogs or postcards, but I gotta throw that in everywhere just on the off chance, because you never know. I've found several people just like randomly, they had no idea that I did that, even though it's all over the place. And then like some little thing, like they were like, oh, you do that. I'm like, yep, I've only been telling everyone every 10 seconds. The internet do be like that. Really wish I had a book in that stage. Yeah, that's another problem. A lot of people are like, I want it, but my book's not ready yet, which is understandable. Books take time. Books take a long time. Not even the first book done yet. Stares into the abyss. Aw, I'm glad you like these streams. Yay. Not many people come to them, but that's okay, because I need to draw these things either way, so I might as well have people here and see if they can give me some ideas. And I'm sorry that I failed, Hedgehog who left us. I failed you. I could not draw the Froggy you wanted. I don't know why, but he was just rendered impossible to me. No idea why I found him so difficult to draw. But thanks again, everybody, for coming. It was nice to see you and chat with you. I want my book in that stage too. Yeah. I wish that Adventure Mage 2 was even in that stage. But I gotta get to it. All right, guys, I'm gonna end. Oh my goodness. Hello, Giorgio. Hi. Hello. 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 Giorgio says hi. But I gotta end this stream and get other stuff done. Excuse me, honey. But thank you all for joining, and I will see you later. Bye.